Okay. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's been a minute. I'm just here to pop in and say what's up and catch up with everybody real quick. I'm going to give it some time because I haven't been live in so long that it's not going to notify people right away. So I'll give it a few minutes. But hello to all of you out there. And let me know how you're doing and who's in the chat. And we'll take it from there. Hey, G Mama, good morning to you. Give it a few minutes to see if let me drop the link to see who's gonna come in. Good morning, Tammy. I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen you in other chats. I haven't seen your name pop up. Let me just paste the link. I'm rusty. My goodness, I haven't been doing this in so long that okay, I got the link. I think I can pin it, right? Okay, no, maybe I have to pin it through the YouTube. Okay. How's everybody doing? Let me put my camera on. My season has pretty much come to an end. Just a lot of stuff is going on over here. Scheduling and my Saturday mornings weren't as free. Even today I'm supposed to be booked, but I said no. I have to do some other things around the house and I have to get the garden cleaning up. Some things are cleaned up, but there's some other things that need to be cleaned up, like my summer plants, like the calla lilies and the canna lilies and dahlias and stuff of that nature that have to be cut back and then put in the garage. So I need time and working. I should have done more in September because I'm in Toronto, so the night is coming earlier and earlier. So basically it's dark by about 6:30 p.m. and I finish work at 5, so I don't have much time in the evening. So all that evening time that I had is disappeared. So Saturdays, that's kind of been my day, but next time I'm going to clean up more in September so that I can even put the pots in front of the garage until I actually put them away. Gma was trying to get into the winter season, but still, yep. My cabbages are doing okay. I planted a lot of things late. I found a purple cauliflower under my protected bed. I forgot that I planted that there, but stuff is growing. We ate. I'm canning. Now I'm being assigned to can the greens at my dad's house, parents' garden. I did not get any squashes or pumpkins, not one. The weather wasn't to my benefit. I planted some things way too late, so that was on me. I had the seedlings ready, but couldn't keep up with the outdoor planting. I should have shifted my priorities, and a lot of animal attacks on the one kusha that was kind of growing. Something chewed it up. We noticed that there was a rat problem over there because they weren't keeping up with raking up all the apples and stuff, and it just became so that's been rectified. But the rat, like we literally saw rats just running by in broad daylight, like you got a problem. Tim's gonna get all her tropical in my greenhouse. Yeah, I'm dreading it. The weather's changing. It's getting darker earlier. You're feeling lethargic. But I had a good season for the most part. I did get a lot of seeds, which was my purpose. Yeah, the rat. I wanted to make sure I got seeds. People had sent me seeds over the years. I've planted some of them this year, especially the tomatoes. Some of them didn't do well, but I got at least one good fruit off of some of the plants. The Hannah's dwarf tomato and one called Azoicha, some I think it's Ukrainian name or Russian name. I got one tomato off of the plant at the other garden that I plant at. So I'm going to harvest some more. I got some seeds from one of mine in my garden, but I planted one somewhere else and that one turned out better. So I'm going to harvest some tomatoes from when I slice it for a tomato sandwich. And then I'm going to collect those seeds. But man, it's been a challenge. The weather, I don't know about you all, but zone 5B, 6A, the weather it wasn't giving all the time. Don't want to complain. And summer was hot and dry. And I could not keep up with the watering. So I lost one of my fruit trees, my 5 variety pear tree. I don't think it made it. It I think it burnt up, so I won't know till the spring, but I don't think so. My apple tree, a 5 species apple tree, one of the varieties, the Granny Smith limb looks like it's dead, but the rest of them are okay. I noticed that some roots shot up a seedling, so I took it out of the apple tree and I put it in a separate pot. That may be the Granny Smith again, because it may be the main rootstock for that limb from what it looks like. So yeah, I messed up a lot of my plants because it wasn't up potted. If it was up potted, it probably would have had a better chance and heavily watered the pots once in a blue moon. But it was a smaller pot, and I wasn't watering, and it was hot, and I couldn't keep up. So I have to rectify that. So I'm gonna replace some of those trees, and I will be implementing some kind of drip feed or something. I went to somebody else's garden and I saw how they're doing things, and he has a lot of pumps and stuff in the rain barrel so he can pump the water out and to make his life easier. So I'm going to be having to invest in some infrastructure in my garden, not plants this year or seeds, but infrastructure. Because man, the season weather surely had me on an emotional. Yeah, I bought the kiwi. That seems to be doing okay. My figs are okay, but they were in a different spot in the garden. This is part of the problem. The upper part of my garden, if those you know, the goes up to a hill. The upper part got neglected, and I can't. Not that I can't. It's difficult to carry water up there. Putting the hose up there, the gravity's against it, so I would need to have water up top that I can flow downward. Man, it's a lot. Spring in Alabama was really wet, but summer had little to no rain. My area, yeah, it's like everywhere was dry. My plants and flowers were, yeah, they suffered. They really suffered, and I just didn't have the energy, to be honest. It's like, you get a little older, and you start to see certain things creeping up on you, and your stamina for working in the heat is like non-existent. Um, one of my raised beds, I have a mesh covering over top, and that mesh covering is kind of tinted, so that kind of helped with that bed. It gave it like a shade cloth. So I'm gonna make another two for the other two beds. I have two more beds. One of them is brand new, never used before. One of them I didn't use this year. I gave it a rest. I just couldn't be bothered because if it's not covered, there's no point of planting in it. I had rabbits in my garden, like brazen, walking around looking at me like, yeah, cats. Squirrels are disgusting, and the birds. So I need to cover up my stuff. It's just the squirrel literally digging up my plants every other day for no reason, ruining the roots, totally destroyed some of the plants. Really just, yeah. I'm gonna I'm still shopping for a pellet thing so that it can be taken out. I'm not dealing with that next year. They're too destructive. You work too hard to plant stuff to have to deal with something just being dug up or snapped in half just out of, playing around in the garden. I can't deal with that. Out of control, G Mama, out of control. I didn't have a lot of bug pressure that I noticed. That white moth was, yeah, she was all over the place, but she couldn't really get on my plants because all my brassicas were covered. The one that kind of had a gap, she really couldn't get in there either. So I didn't have much bug pressure. I didn't see aphids. I don't recall seeing aphids this year because it was bad last year. But I do have leaf miner issues in my Swiss chard. But I realize now how to see the back of the leaves. I wasn't noticing because it's very small. Those dots, they were very small. So I did not get my Swiss chart early, but now it's doing great because there's no bugs. Um, and the funny thing is at the other location, I didn't really have much leaf miner damage. So everything has its own climate, microclimate. Hey, Sobs. Hey. Microclimate, and yeah, it was just different. But I didn't really do much spraying or anything like that, even the natural stuff. But I am going to be next year trying. I've been meaning to try that clay spray that people are using. I forgot the name of it, but it's like a clay. You spray your plants with it, puts a coating on to keep the bugs off and the animals off, and it's natural. rinses off every so often, and you reapply kaolin. I think it's kaolin clay. You have a new pest called scales on the bark of someone. Oh Lord, I don't need no more pests. These things, like, they really want to just destroy your food. But yeah, I'm gonna figure out some of those things. The other person's garden I went to was like a literally oasis. It's a literal orchard and fruit trees, and he has pawpaws and different kinds of figs. So I asked him for cuttings. Hopefully he will give me a cutting of the pawpaw tree, and he has a persimmon, I believe. And he was shocked. He's like, I'm mentioning names that people don't mention. I'm like, yeah, I'm into growing my own food. Like, I'm into that. It's not no joke. I went to a farmer's market. It's a place called St. Jacob's Market over here outside of Toronto, maybe an hour or two. And it's like a Mennonite Amish community. I went there and I got eggs, even though I have chickens. You need more than these girls are providing, and they're molting. So the new girls are doing well. I forgot, I added 4 new girls to the flock. Oh my gosh. You don't just add chickens to a flock because they are vicious. The old girls were like violent, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, the sweet ones were like so violent and enraged. And then Clover was limping. She was really fighting them like, WWE. So I don't have enough eggs necessarily. And I am eating more eggs lately. I haven't always, but I am trying to get more protein. As an older woman, not old, but older, you're getting, older, you need more protein. Um, and I bought a dozen duck eggs, my first time trying duck eggs. And they're very fatty and nice and rich. Oh my God. And I tried quail eggs as well just this week. I had a pack, but I boiled 4 of them this week. Same thing, very rich like duck eggs. I'm like, oh my God, why didn't somebody tell me about these things before? Now I know why people like to bake with duck eggs, because it makes the cake or whatever so much richer. You want another pot? Oh, you had one, G Mama had a pawpaw tree. So I'm gonna get a couple more trees if you can give me the cuttings. And I've heard chickens have a pet cake. Oh, girl. As soon as they came, it's like, who are these new birds? They're territorial. I didn't realize. I knew, but like, I had a separate fence separating the two, and they went berserk. I was getting wings and like hit left and right, like they went berserk. And then they were bullying that. Yeah, then I had to go and bully the older girls and like leave the younger ones alone. Even now, Clover still bullies the girls when they go lay their eggs. She's bullying them, like she's jealous because it's like she's not laying right now, and like, oh, you got these younger girls to replace us. Yeah, kind of did. I need more eggs. I got 2 more red layers, like the red sexlings, which is brown eggs. I got an olive egger. Her name is Olive, obviously, and I got a blue not blue, a blue azure blue. Hey, frugal mama. I wasn't or Tasharia. Okay, no, it says back frugal mama. Okay. And I got it. Her name is Blue. She's a small girl, but she can lay some big eggs as well. So my cartons are more colorful, and people are actually liking that. I'm still selling my eggs, even though I had to buy a flat of 30. But I like giving people access to the eggs, to be honest. So now that I know I like quail eggs, I was like, quail's been on my mind. I've been mentioning it for months and months. It's just me having to find a place to house them, to get like a cage or a hutch with different layers. But I tried the eggs and they're delicious. So they're kind of annoying to peel when you boil them because they're so tiny. But I can rock with the quail eggs. So I think I'm going to definitely push more towards getting the quail. I'm supposed to be traveling maybe next month for a funeral, but I don't have people to watch my animals. So I'm going to ask 2 people so they can rotate. But I'm going to have to also invest in making things a bit more automated. I don't have an automatic door and to open and close for them. So I'm probably going to make sure I have that, get some cameras out there. Hey, David, how are you? I'm going to get some cameras out there. I'm going to get some lighting out there. It's very overcast sometimes, and I want to give them more light. So I'm going to do a few things to make them, even outside. I had a bucket that I put the chicken feed in. a 5-gallon bucket, and the main food was in the garage. The skunk, or it's not the skunk, the squirrel chew up the lid. I changed the lid. They chewed up the second lid. So I had to go buy a mini metal trash can to put the feed in because now they're chewing up the buckets. It's just ridiculous. I'm getting equipment. Hold on. I'm rusty. I'm trying to show it on the screen. Hold on. Show. Okay. I'm getting equipment and books so I can raise quail. I want my own. Girl, I'm on that too. And they're so, because they're so small, they're really good for small, locations. Hey, good morning, Vision. Their quail is good for small locations. I know people online, not personally, but they were in apartments and they're raising them and they're doing that kind of thing. So I don't know if you guys have tried quail eggs. I've tried them for the first time and they're really tasty. Yes, they're small. They're annoying to peel when you got, several to peel, but they're rich and they're more nutrient dense than the chicken eggs. I got chickens. I'm not going to ever get rid of the chickens because it's nice to have them. But I'm definitely going to be pushing more for the quail. Good morning, Spent. If I'm saying it wrong, sorry, because my eyes. Spence. Very small. Yeah, the eggs were tiny, teeny tiny, but they're very rich. So that's what compensates. But for those of you who may be in a more city area, you have a very small space. I think Frugal Mama has chickens as well too. I'm pretty sure I saw her. I think she's hiding them in her videos, but I think I saw some chickens in her videos, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, that's who it is. That's Laura. Yes, I know the picture looked familiar. But definitely get quail. That's all I can tell you. With all that's happening now, yeah. I'm like, I didn't know that she had chickens. She doesn't really show it, but she has chickens. Good for her. It's once you start eating your own eggs, it's kind of hard to go back. I don't think I can go back to eating store-bought eggs, but I've gone to the farm. I purchased them from there. I went to the farmer's market. So I'm hopping all over the place because it's been like several months trying to catch you up and then I'll start to do more structured, videos and show you what's going on. I have a lot of videos recorded. I'm going to try to get them edited. My phone is always full. I got to get them off my phone and show you little clips of what's happening. I'm working on that, guys, but what's going on over here right now is ridiculous. Attacks on every side. That's all I can say. But God's good all the time. Good morning, Bud Files. So it's hard to go back, but I went to the Amish place and farmer's market. It's about 2 hours from Toronto. People go there a couple times a year, and all the farms are there. Different farms, different farmers, different commercial kind of farmers. So you can buy things by the bushel, by the half bushel. So we purchased a half bushel of Roma beans, which I canned the same weekend that we picked them up. We got French beans, or either string beans or French beans or whatever, same things, but they're a bit different. And the Roma beans, I had to shuck them, had to shell them. So that took, a while. Can them. I did the French beans, canned all of those except for a few to eat fresh. And then we also purchased pumpkins because none of my pumpkins, I didn't have a good harvest of pumpkins, but we got some delicata, some buttercup, I think, and some of the bluish gray ones for the first time. I'm going to keep the seeds. We got corn, but the corn wasn't that great. Someone said to buy corn. It wasn't that great. They have honey over there. We got sugarcane juice. They had the cane juice. They had, as I said, they had the eggs. So there was an egg farmer there. So I got a flat of 30 eggs. They have their eggs by the grade, like grade A, double A. Like they really have high quality eggs. I thought my eggs were good. When I cracked their eggs, their yolks were actually like yellow, like orange, like glowing more than mine. And I raised my own chickens. So sometimes you can't go by the yolk, but I'm pretty sure that their chickens may be free range and they probably getting more bugs. Mine are a deeper color than the stores, but as soon as I crack their eggs, I'm like, oh my God. You can see, even though I bought like the lower grade, you can see the difference. So they're definitely doing legit stuff. They have quail, duck, chicken, eggs, different kinds of chickens. They have different options as well, but it's excellent. Oh, thanks, Psalms. Yeah, I'm gonna get the videos out. I'm gonna get the videos out. Don't worry, I'm working on it. I'm just waiting to get the new computer because the one I have can't do it, and the other Apple, which is older, is not handling the speed anymore. So time to upgrade. But yeah, there's stuff happening, guys. I'm watching your guys' videos. You see me in the chat still, but just could not be doing everything. There's so much happening. Um, you guys can see what's going on in the world, the economy. Um, you know, some people like the homelessness. I've been talking to you about it for over a year. It's even worse. I was driving to go to something I was going to last night, like a ladies' event, and I saw a tent in the gully next to the highway. So they're putting like people are putting a tent there and living in the gully off the highway. I see tents behind gas stations, tents in some wooded areas. People are living in the bus sheds. Like it's really bad. That's in my area, never mind other areas where it's like one city had to call a state of emergency. It became a tent town. It's getting really bad in these streets, guys. So for all of you guys, I know you guys are prepping, keep it up. Just keep it up because it's getting really grimy in these streets. People getting laid off. I know in the US people getting cut off of EBT and other programming, and the entitlement is just a bit off-putting. Like they literally think they are entitled to be supported. And these are able-bodied people. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Hey, good morning, TLC. It's just ridiculous. But I'm still growing. I learned a lot of lessons. I'm going to show you some stuff, make some videos. But my focus this year was harvesting particular seeds that I had to buy from the US, which it cost me a lot more, plus shipping. So I got the seeds off of everything except for the 2 pumpkins that I planted. I didn't get any pumpkins, so I'm going to try again next year, but I'm trying to be very careful because I only have so many seeds so that I can harvest one good pumpkin and get back the seeds. So that's the only thing I've been preserving. My fear of pressure canning, that's pretty much out the window. We've been canning over here left and right, greens, callaloo, Swiss chard, beans. I canned some tomatoes. Yes, I did do some stewing tomatoes. I didn't do sauce. I'm probably next year going to go back to the farmer's market and just buy, a big bushel of tomatoes and make ketchup and other things. You don't have to grow everything yourself, as you already know. I'm just reiterating common sense stuff. You do what you can, but if you cannot grow all of it yourself because of circumstances and maybe weather, please go to these farmers who do this full time and have huge plots of land and are selling it to you by the bushel. Go over there and buy them. But they're selling sweet peppers, shepherd's peppers, hot peppers, all kind of Scotch bonnets and different kind of jalapenos, and I even saw scorpion, like all kind of peppers. Just go and buy them. Keep the seeds and do your canning and do your pickling and your hot sauces. Don't stress over, support your local farmers. It's good for our farming economy when you're actually purchasing. There's a balance between doing everything yourself. Good morning, Homesteader Rachel. There's a balance between growing everything yourself and also supporting your local community. You have to keep the dollars flowing. Buy seeds from your local seed companies, buy seedlings. That's what keeps them in business. So you have to balance both. Don't ever just do everything by yourself because we need these stores in operation. You need them. Oh, you're pickling I'm telling you, pickling peppers, hot sauce. That's the enjoyment of it. And so in the fall, I'm going to be taking out my cans and just eating my own food. What such a rewarding feeling. Yes, I'm canning. I can't freeze everything. My freezer is full. There's no more room in the freezer. I want to make my own ketchup and barbecue sauce. Yes. I once I take my canner out of the box. Yeah, it's not scary. It's scary, but it's not. I think between Homestead Heart and TT's Urban Pantry and Gina versus Gina, when she's over there with TT doing the canning videos, and who else do I watch? There's a couple other people, but mostly Homestead Heart. Trust me, I think everybody in this chat, from what I know, either has a canner or is heavily canning. Just do it. It's not that scary. At first, it's scary because you don't know how long it's gonna take. Like my canner takes a long time to pressurize, so I put on the pot earlier to let the water heat up so that it will cut the time in half. And then you hear it bubbling and all kind of stuff. So it's kind of like, ooh, but once you're used to it, that's normal. That's normal. And follow the recipe. Don't make any adjustments. The recipes are made to keep with the USDA guidelines. So don't read the recipe properly. Because when I was doing the greens, there's a recipe for greens and it's different than like for instance beans. So there's raw beans, dry beans, and fresh beans. My beans were fresh. There's a different time versus dry beans. And when you're doing dry beans, you got to leave more space so that they can expand. So there's certain things in the recipe, just read the recipe and follow it to a T. Some things are not in the books. They're rebel canners. If you're going to follow rebel canner, follow the Amish people and the ones that have been doing it for generations. There are, hold on, let me see what she's saying here. Are there the ones that have the white garden I had? White yolks? I've never seen that. What? I must have missed something. Okay, sorry. I'm going back to what she's saying. So, have you seen the lab eggs? Like, yes, I've seen it. And I think it's been happening more than we think, but it's just out in the open because you guys remember what, a year ago or 2 years ago when they culled all the birds, the egg layers because of the flu that was going around, and it takes 6 months for them to start laying. So there wasn't really, the prices went up, yes, but there wasn't really a shortage because people were finding eggs all over the place. So something's a bit weird with that story. Something's a little off with that. So I think they were doing it from before. Vision has Trinidadian scorpion, ghost, habanero peppers. Whoops, wrong button. I'm dehydrating. Yeah, be careful with dehydration on Vision, as you know. I did it in my house. Big mistake. It was like pepper spray. I had to put the dehydrator out. Don't dry the peppers in the house. Oh my God. The whole place the air was burning. Yeah, don't do that. Do it in another part where you don't have to be inhaling it. Oh my goodness. And I purchased the mesh bag that you could hang up and let things air dry. I didn't hang it up yet. Again, I've been behind, but I have it. Yeah, don't dry the peppers in the house. Ask me how I know. Literally. Going coughing out the house like you've been pepper sprayed. My herbs are doing well. Some of the ones I did for the herb garden challenge, not so much. Some of it was just it just didn't do well, and some of it was the squirrels kept digging up the seedlings. So don't plant everything in certain spots. Like the squirrels they seem to have been obsessed with the stinging nettle and the cat, like certain herbs, they're just obsessed with them. They wouldn't stop. I moved it, they kept following it and just destroying my plants. So the mints did very well. I purchased ginger mint from the store, from the nursery this year. I think I got 2, and I purchased one more stevia plant. I had one, so now I have 2. I haven't used it really, but I have it. I dried it up, so that's going to be used to sweeten stuff. But 12 quarts of tomato sauce and tomato. I have some green tomatoes. Is that what I used to make relish? Someone tell me, because I got some green ones. I really don't want to can anymore. I want to break, but I think I'll have to can them. Have a regular yellow yolk and everything. Back to the eggs, though. Back to the eggs. I'm watching a lot of videos because they're talking. Certain doctors online are talking about diets and all the advice that we've been giving, like cholesterol and don't have this and don't have that. And they're having us only eat egg whites. Good morning, can't stop. They only have no, I haven't been live in months, so yeah, that's why you haven't caught me. I haven't been live in weeks. But I'm getting back into it. Talking about cholesterol, and what we've been told about cholesterol isn't fully accurate. And I'm watching them talk about, for instance, eggs, and you need to eat the yolk, well, all of it, not just the white part. There's nutrients and minerals in the yolk that are essential. Cholesterol is not as bad as they say it is. This is not medical advice. I'm just telling what I'm observing from their podcast. And they said nobody died from high cholesterol. Most times you have a problem with low cholesterol. That's how you die. Your brain needs cholesterol. Your brain needs the fat. So all the medication you're taking to lower your cholesterol is causing other problems. It actually lowers your sex drive as well, because that's what promotes your sex drive, cholesterol. Um, and your body knows what it's doing. If you have too much cholesterol, then there's another problem that you need to deal with. But they keep giving people statins and all these medications, and they're looking at the science and looking at the old time periodicals and the studies, and cholesterol is not a problem. Even some aspects of high blood pressure, not everything, but some aspects, they're over prescribing and over medicating. So yeah, butter, and so I'm eating butter. I've always eaten butter. The margarine and the other things didn't last too long. It didn't make sense. What's in that? If I can't go into the store and buy the individual ingredients to make the thing that you're selling me, then I'm not going to eat it. I can go and buy cream and make butter right now myself with some salt. If I can't do the same thing with what I'm buying ready made, it doesn't make sense to me. I can't even buy the ingredients individually in margarine. I can't believe it's not butter. I am using a lot of ghee now, though. Ghee is clarified butter, just cooked down, so it has a longer shelf life. So I am going into that more, only because I'm just reading the chat to catch back up. I can't believe these crazy. Yeah, so they also just means they like the stinging nettle. It's almost like a catnippy obsession. But I use ghee because it has a long shelf life. When you go to the big stores, you can buy it by the bucket. I went to Costco last night, not for myself, but to buy stuff for the I'm on the kitchen team for church now. They voluntold me. So I went shopping to restock their stuff. They had a small glass bottle of ghee. I was behind the sign, so I asked the person, what does it say? And I think it was like 20 something, almost $30 for a small jar. You can get the tub at Costco for maybe $40, maybe $50, but it's a huge tub that will last you a long time. Buy ghee, buy butter, make your own butter, but you need the fat. The older we get, and you wonder why people are crackling and prickling as they age. You need the fat. The brain needs fat to function properly, to have clarity of mind. People wonder why there's so much dementias and all these kind of things, insulin resistant. Have your avocados, eat your eggs. I've been eating eggs. I have never had an issue with cholesterol. My dad does. So they say, and now we're like, bun that. You're eating eggs. You're eating avocado. You're eating the stuff. We're not taking. He actually has been doing garlic. I've been doing garlic too, but he's been doing the raw garlic. I think he soaks. I don't know exactly what he's doing. He minces it, soaks it in water. I don't know what he's doing, and he's been drinking it every morning at high dose. His blood pressure went down to the point now he's off of his blood pressure medication, and he is 87 years old. 87-ish. Don't quote me because I can never remember, but he's about 87 years old, and he's off of blood pressure medication due to the food, taking the food and using it as medicine. So talk to your doctor, take their advice. Don't get me wrong. Listen to your doctor, but take the information and start to question it with them. Ask them, ask to be referred to a dietitian or nutritionist. Ask for the referrals and start to get more information. Don't just take your general practitioner who's not an expert in everything and find out, I'm having my left hand, I'm having trigger thumb. Funny, I don't use use a firearm, but it could be like symptoms of aging. But I had an X-ray, nothing broken, nothing fractured. It's just it moves around, and then sometimes I'm like it's just frozen. And the only thing they offered me was steroid shots. No, thank you. The same way how it came on suddenly, I'm hoping it'll go away. So I'm using castor oil. I'm gonna dry up some of the comfrey. The comfrey, guys, in my garden doubled, tripled. It's just in abundance. So I'm taking it as God's sign to use the comfrey. So I'm gonna be making a comfrey salve and putting it on. But I'm not going to no steroids. It's not it's not going to help me in the long run. It'll ease the pain, but you're going to pay another way later. So I'm definitely not interested. It's not debilitating, but it is annoying when you need to use your hands for stuff. So you have to kind of overcompensate, but there's healing in the food that we're eating. So just do your research, figure it out, and change what you're eating. Whatever's causing the inflammation in your body, you need to work on that. If there's inflammation, there's a reason. And a lot of the research I've been doing lately, it's all tying back to parasites. No matter how I'm researching something different, it circles back to parasites. And as I said, I think I definitely told it in a live, there's a study that shows that there are parasites that operate and give you symptoms like rheumatoid arthritis. So you're dealing with the rheumatoid arthritis, but the root cause is really a parasite, but they're trying to camouflage themselves so that you don't address the real issue. I'm promoting parasite cleanses to everybody I can talk to because we need to deal with the root causes. Back in the day in the hospitals, they used to always give you, before they even treated you, they gave you enemas to clean out your colon. They gave you some kind of parasitic cleanse to make sure you're good. And they would also make sure that you were hydrated, because those are usually the three things that need to be addressed first and foremost. And then if it's still a problem, then, they would do some, but usually the cleansing and the detoxing would kind of help you recover faster. There's a lot of information out there, but it's not as, I wouldn't say it's not readily available, but it's not promoted. You have to go and dig and find it for yourself. But trust and believe, this cholesterol thing they're talking about, yeah, eat your food, high quality food, the way that it's supposed to be eaten. I never thought that it made sense that I have to eat egg whites and eat things in a way that God had already created, but I have to eat it. I can't eat it, or I can't do this because it's not good for me. It never made sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to you, but I believe in God. So it just didn't make sense that everything was created for us, but now we can't use it because it's harming us. Maybe it's something else. Maybe I should take the processed food off of my diet and eat one ingredient real foods. That's what I've been doing. And it's definitely an improvement. I've been all summer long, I've been trying to unbig my back. I had an unbig my back challenge, and I'm still doing it. But man, I don't see no difference. I don't see not one difference. People are like, oh, I can see difference. I don't see nothing. So I'm walking every day, have my weighted vest. I'm doing resistance bands. I'm doing different things. I haven't seen a thing. So for all of you guys who are working out and don't see nothing, man, it's kind of frustrating, but just watch Frugal Mama and keep it going, keep the motivation going, because there's other benefits besides weight loss. It's also energy. It's also, just better health. It's yeah, the processed foods are, and then even that to the processed foods, like sometimes you wonder why you're always hungry and you're eating this, you're eating that, because there's no nutrition, there's no nourishment in there. And if you ate real food, you would have ate the one plate and you'd be satiated. But we eat this, that, pick, and then you're always hungry all the time. I'm basically now eating 2 meals a day. I may have a few snacks, and I don't have breakfast per se. I have my I guess you can call it a keto coffee, but it's not keto. I'm doing bone broth. So I basically whip in my mug bone broth powder, MCT powder, or the oil. I put in the mushroom complex powder, and I use sometimes cacao powder, and I use sometimes a pinch of Celtic salt. I put some creamer, so either store bought or I do my own creamer that I make from, cashews or whatever I choose to make. I take the frother, I whip it up, and then I put my mug under either the Keurig or whatever, my percolator, and I use a decaf, or I use like a coffee replacement or dandelion or whatever I'm feeling for that day, and I pour it in the mug, and it tastes fantastic. I'm trying to make everything that I consume packed with extra nutrients. So I don't just drink a plain coffee. I don't have time. There's too much to do in the day and too many like vitamins to ingest. So I make my coffee nutritious, my drinks are nutritious. I'm always packing in extra things into my drinks and my meals so I can get all that I need. Um and the bone broth, definitely, because my knee's been bothering me. I kind of twisted it and it's just been lingering for several weeks, but the bone broth, I can definitely feel the difference with your hair, your skin, your nails. Um, so if those of you who used to take bone broth, definitely go back to it. Definitely go back to bone broth. If you're trying to feel satiated when you're doing your intermittent fasting and trying to not eat till like 10 or 11 o'clock, the bone broth is like instrumental. You will feel fuller on that cup of coffee and you won't be so snacky, like feeling snackish. Yeah, unbig my yeah, we have to unbig our backs. I have to unbig our backs. It's not, it's just I'm not like I'm not like dissing myself or like, putting down anybody else. But we have to get to a place where like, no, we got to do better. We have to do better. If I've seen people as they age and the bigger they are, the more difficult it is, especially when you have to have care. It's very difficult to take care of a larger person because lift to go have to buy a lift and this and that. It's not easy. So if we can do our part and just keep ourselves at a modest size and be active, it will make us more independent in the long run. My dad's still driving. My mom was still doing some stuff, but her illness was a bit different. But he's driving, he's dressing himself, he can make his own stuff. All of these things are important when you're older. He can brush his own teeth, comb his own, like all those things that you take for granted. He's doing that by himself. If we had to go and take care of him, that would be very like a lot of time and consuming thing to take care. He can do all that. He can, he does some gardening. He doesn't do what he used to do because he's older, but he can take a stool and weed and take some stuff. He's the one who took the greens and washed all the greens and cut them up small so that I could steam them and can them. He, cut up all the onions. He did all that. So he's still living a very independent life. He wears glasses to read, but for the most part, his eyes are okay. His hearing is a bit, but he won't wear the hearing aid because he thinks he hears better without it. And then when you're talking, talk louder. I can't hear you. But you're not wearing your hearing aid, sir. But anyways, you can't be rude. When you stop looking at your weight in this, yeah. So I just want to make sure that I'm exercising. If I lose weight, great. If it takes longer, that's fine. I'm really doing it for the muscle building because we got to build our muscles. Some of us realize that, what, we're getting older and that the muscles are going to help keep us together, keep us from accidents, trips and falls, and all these injuries and stuff. Also, I'm doing the weighted vest for bone density. There's a lady I watch, she's a Jamaican fitness instructor. She's probably 50, 51. So she's not old. She's very active, very fit, more so than most people. She tripped and fell on a vacation in Europe, and she knew something wasn't right. And from what she said, it's like her hip popped out of the joint, but because she's so fit, the muscles kind of pulled it back in, and then it must have smashed against her hip socket, and then there was a fracture. So she just had to have a hip surgery. If somebody who's that active, that fit, that muscular had a hip injury, had to have a surgery to fix the fracture and the muscle tear and so forth, what about the rest of us? So it's very important. And then she said that the doctor said that they use a certain amount of force or pressure to kind of pop the hip back out during the surgery process. So he expected from her fitness level to have to go to a higher number. Basically, he barely put the pressure on it and the hip popped out. So that's how damaged it was. But because she's so physically active, it didn't really, the side effects didn't hit her as quickly as somebody else, is what I'm trying to say. So it's very important. Do your weights, fitness, weight bearing exercises. You don't have to be an Olympic athlete, but just do your weight bearing exercises. Bend up and down to keep your knees flexible. Go up and down the stairs so that your legs are used to that up and down stairs. me going up the stairs, I can feel it in my knee a bit more, and just keep walking. I went to the office the other day, and it's a long walk to the office. I haven't done it in since COVID, and I walk every day now. I was huffing and puffing, huffing and puffing. I'm like this, and we all were like, we used to do this every day. What happened? But we're out of practice, and you don't realize. So you have to make a conscious effort. If I can leave you with this, keep a schedule and stick to a rigid schedule. It's going to help you in the long run. It's going to help with your clarity of mind. It's going to help with you have to be self-motivated, and you have to take care of the body that God gave you, because nobody else is going to take care of it like you should and would. Exercise. Some people are just busy, busy, busy. And I said to them, you're working to retire early or retire. What if you're not going to be able to retire? You're going to be so sick and sickly. Take care of your body now so that you can make it to retirement and be an active person. So take the time, 20 minutes, half an hour a day, and just put yourself first. There's always going to be something else to do. Please put yourself first. Exercise, walk. Anybody who's not in line with what you're doing, you may have to kind of make some modifications, because these people want to keep you fat and keep you unhealthy. Let me see what. Oh yeah, 300 pounds. He had two hernias that the fat was holding back when the weight came down. They showed up. Yep, that's what. Hey, good morning, Jegs. Please take care of yourself. I don't care how. Thank you, thank you. Everyone's like, I miss you. Thank you. It's good to be missed. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. That's all I gotta say. I think Jegs he came in the room. He went on this. I can't remember. Like, I don't know if he's doing intermittent fasting or something, but Jegs was losing weight left and right. I don't know if he's still there. He's getting thinner and thinner. Take care of yourself. It's gonna make your life easier as we age. And no matter how we want to be in denial, it's creeping up on all of us. So please eat properly, keep yourself hydrated, exercise as a bare minimum. Then start looking into your supplementation. But I'm telling you, people, carnivore diet, yeah. Whatever works for you, find what works for you. But we need to make sure we're in better health. As you see what's happening, I think every country's cutting back with healthcare. The healthcare over here really is. I'm not going to complain, because thank God we have something, because the family member I have to go to their funeral in Jamaica, it's much worse over there. But it could be better. It could definitely be better. And part of making it better is not relying on them in the first place. Because if you're going to rely on the doctors over here, it's getting slow. The follow-up is getting slower. Getting sent for testing is taking a lot longer to get sent for testing and screenings. So by the time you find out about something, sometimes it's months and months after. It's bad. So really take care. In Jamaica, my uncle did not get good care. And he possibly could have lived a little longer. It would have been nice. But it was, if you're coughing up stuff you shouldn't be coughing up, that should be like a red flag for the doctors and nurses. They just don't care. So just please don't let yourself get there in the first place, because you're at the mercy of somebody and whether they're in a good mood or not, and if they feel like helping you or not. Yep, there's a hurricane. We were talking to the people yesterday, Sam, about the hurricane. It's another, concern, because, yeah. And in Jamaica, I was trying to, people were calling me about something, because people are traveling to Jamaica for different reasons, and the airlines are making it very difficult. As you all know, you can barely carry a suitcase. You can barely carry a hand luggage. And most Caribbean people, as you know, it's kind of understood. You carry your pieces. You always carry an extra piece of suitcase, because you got to carry down things for people. And it's basically, you can't even carry your own clothes, how it's turning out nowadays. They charge for everything. So they couldn't get the stuff on the plane. Someone had to go and pick it up. Then they're asking me about shipping it to Jamaica. I said, you can't ship to Jamaica. Jamaica does not allow gifts, really, or humanitarian stuff. It's very difficult. They're going to charge you 300% taxes and duties. This is what I do. Don't ship it. So they had to turn it back and just pick it up from the airport for the person. They're making it very difficult. And I might have to pack a barrel and ship it down if I go down for the funeral, because It's hard to get things down there. It's very expensive. You think it's bad here, it's bad over there. People who are from America and England and Canada who are going back to Jamaica are the ones complaining about how expensive it is. Never mind the local people who only have their Jamaican currency. We have foreign currency that we're going down with, and it can go further, and it's expensive. So I'm seeing the news. I'm watching the news all over England, Canada. Food's getting expensive. Strikes are going on. Farms are being lost. We know what's going on. It's happening in slow motion, but just pay attention. Keep growing your food. Those of you in a cold zone like me, it's time for the indoor gardening season. If you don't want to bother with that, that's fine. Just keep pressure canning so that you have food to eat through the winter. I went to the flyers online today to check my clippings for the week. Baked beans are usually, they've gone up, so maybe $1.99 here. They're on sale, quotation sale, for $2.99. Who's paying $3 for a can of baked beans? Beans are usually the cheapest things to eat. So really watch your flyers and buy things when they're affordable, because I know Vision, I always watch him. He has like the I don't know what he calls the segment, but like mini preps or certain sales. He goes at Aldi and he was showing some things like buy the pasta and all these things that he was buying. Tuna, I like sardines, and just buy them because the prices are going to go up, guys. Not because they need to, because they want to have this frenzy, building up this frenzy. I just saw this morning that the hurricane, yep, and another place, we called some relatives there. They were concerned. My cousin came back from Barbados this week, so I'm not sure. He met people there who are from here that ran into them, but same thing. He left, so hopefully there's not going to be storms passing through the Caribbean, but that's what's happening. And when it happens, the last storm that happened this year in Jamaica, a lot of the fruit trees were damaged, and especially on our property, and you got to start from zero again. You have a mature avocado tree, smashed, snapped in half. All the other trees that they rely on, because some people do grow food and grow their own trees. The damage is devastating. So just keep them in mind and just keep growing your food. That's all I say, guys. Get in touch with a local farmer. I bought my chicken and my beef from a local farmer this year. And it's more expensive, yes, up front, but it's better for you in the long run. I'm telling you, I don't think I can go back. I might have to here and there, but even the smell of the meat, like the store-bought meat, just smells disgusting to me. It's just ugh. The farm fresh meat, totally different. Much tastier, much fattier. The chicken was fantastic. I even saved the bones to boil to make chicken stock and veggie stock. So nothing's going to waste. But you guys keep your head on swivel. Pay attention to what's going on, and pay attention to who's watching you, because there's a lot of people that you don't realize are watching you, and they're kind of seeing what you have and seeing what's what. So I've noticed a few things. Let me see. You have your avocado tree and two papaya plants inside under lights, and they are still, yep. Just take care of them, feed them, fertilize them every so often. And yep. Keep growing your food, guys. Find suppliers, yes. The problem I'm having with food in the stores is that they're putting a lot of things in the food, in the actual strain of the vegetables that you're getting. They're putting things in it with the GMO stuff that they're doing. If things are organic, and some things are organic, they're spraying. Hey, Sabby Joe, they're spraying them with stuff. Even in the store, that's water. It's not water, and that's going on your your greens, and it's hard to wash that off. I know you guys have heard in the news that the appeal has been taken off the market, but there's going to be something else. So we win one battle, got to fight 3 more. So it's very important that you grow your own food. Grow what you like to eat. Grow what you enjoy. Don't have to grow what other people are eating. If you don't like this, don't grow. Grow what you like to eat, and learn to pressure can and preserve, because the prices are going to get so expensive that even people with a good income are starting to find it difficult to keep up with the level of inflation. By the time you maintain your vehicle, gasoline costs a lot of money. Maintaining your house, Heating your house, heat has gone up over here. It's a lot just to live basic. It's very expensive. Food, water, medicine's gone up. Over here, same thing. People don't get as much coverage as they used to. The government's not putting in, but they're sending money overseas to fight wars. Anyways, let's not even go there today. But the money's being used for what they want to use it for. Okay, Sammy Joe joined as a membership. Thank you for joining the membership. So let's just keep focused, keep on track. Don't get fearful and stressed out. Things are happening around you. Just keep your community, your relationships tight, and build new ones with other people. We're building new relationships with farmers, and we're building those ties so that when things go left, you have a place to get your food from and source things. We need to make sure you have enough water. I let my water get a little low, so I'm going to be restocking this month and just loading up bottles and bottles of water, the big jugs, and making sure that every place, I can hide water, I'm going to have water. Stuff is happening. I can't go into everything, but stuff is happening. Every city is different, but just watch your water. Make sure that you're getting clean water, that you have filtration systems to filter your water, because something's definitely going down in the streets. So thanks for coming in today, guys. I'm not going to be on too long. I got to clean up the garden and do stuff, but keep your eyes open. I'm trying to get stuff out there again, get back into the YouTube, social media. If you don't have me on Instagram, make sure you have me on there as well. I post there pictures of what's going on. And I'll see you soon. I'm on TikTok as well, but I'm not as active, but we're getting there. I'll see you soon. Remember, be kind to yourself and be kind to others, and drop some seeds. Take care, everybody. Have a great Saturday. God willing, I'll see you next Saturday. I'm trying to get back into my weekly routine. I'll see you next week. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share. All right. Take care.